Good evening and welcome to the Hatfield Museum and History Society November Community Program. My name is Larry Stevens. I'm president of the Society, and tonight we are again broadcasting to you live from the research room of the new Hatfield History Museum. It's been a real pleasure to greet the many guests that have visited the museum so far, but I know there are many of you who still haven't had the opportunity. I want you to be assured that we are taking measures to create a safe, comfortable atmosphere for your visit. You and your guests will likely be the only ones in the museum during your visit. So to make an appointment to visit us, go to our website, hatfieldhistory.org, or give us a call at 215-362-0428. Again, welcome, and I hope that you enjoy tonight's program. While we're adjusting the camera, let us know that you're watching and where you're watching from by dropping us a quick comment. And I want to thank everyone for their continued financial support of the museum. If you enjoy these live program presentations and all of the pictures that we post here on Facebook about Hatfield's history, maybe you would consider supporting our efforts with a financial contribution. A donation of any size is greatly appreciated. You can make a donation very easily right here on our Facebook page by clicking on the donate button. And 100% of your donation goes to the museum. Facebook takes no fees, so it's a great way to make your donation. All right. Let's start off testing your knowledge with some turkey trivia. I'm going to start you off with an easy one. Which founder of our country is said to have wanted the turkey to be the national bird? If you said Benjamin Franklin, you are correct. Now, the story that Franklin proposed the turkey as the national symbol is actually just a myth. It was started based on a letter that Franklin wrote to his daughter, Sarah, in 1784, criticizing the use of the bald eagle in the nation's Great Seal. For my own part, he wrote, I wish the bald eagle had not been chosen as the representative of our country. Franklin argued that the eagle was a bird of bad moral character that does not get his living honestly because it steals food from the fishing hawk and is too lazy to fish for himself. Franklin considered the turkey a much more respectable bird, a true original native of America, and a bird of courage. So while this private letter was certainly a spirited promotion of the turkey over the eagle, Franklin never made his views public and certainly never officially proposed the turkey as the national bird. I hope you found that interesting, because I did. What is a large group of turkeys called? A flock, a herd, a pack, or a bunch? It's called a flock. On average, how many feathers does a mature turkey have? This is a tough one. 3,500 feathers. Not sure who counted them. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, the largest turkey to ever be cooked was how many pounds? If you said 37, you're wrong. 104 pounds, that's like a small horse. No, that's not correct. It's 86 pounds, that's a big bird. Approximately how many pounds of turkey are consumed on Thanksgiving Day in America? $535 million pounds. Which state produces the most turkeys? North Carolina produces the most turkeys. How long does it take for a turkey egg to hatch? 4 weeks. Only male turkeys gobble. Is that true or false? That is true. Which country consumes the most turkey per capita? Israel with 25¼ pounds. We got to work on that, Americans. The United States is only 17¼ pounds. What is the fastest way to defrost a turkey? In cold water, of course. And if you haven't gotten your turkey out of the freezer yet, you better do it tonight after the program. Get it in that cold water. What is the name of the long, red, fleshy area that grows from the forehead over the bill? It's called the snood. And what is the name of the fleshy growth under the turkey's throat? The wattle. What is a baby turkey called? If you said poult, you're correct. And there's another picture of a baby turkey. Domesticated turkeys are so stupid that they will look up at the falling rain until they drown. Is that true or false? That's false. That's just another myth. What is the most popular way to eat turkey? Sandwich. And I'm going to be eating a lot of turkey sandwiches, cooking a 22-pound turkey for the 5 of us. So I'm looking forward to lots of turkey sandwiches in my future. All right, hope you did a great job on your turkey trivia. If you didn't, you learned a lot. And now we'll move on to our main presentation. Hatfield, PA, Turkeytown, USA. It can be said that Hatfield has 4 main claims to fame in its long history. Most recently, I think it would be as the home of Hatfield quality meats. A number of times when I've traveled outside of the area and mentioned that I am from Hatfield, they would say, "Oh, where they make the hot dogs," or "home of the smiling porker." Then, of course, there was the Hatfield racetrack. From its beginnings as a horse track in 1921 until it closed in 1966, it satisfied people's need for speed and competition. Overlapping for many years was the Montgomery County Fair, which was held on the grounds of the Hatfield racetrack beginning in 1925. Year after year, the fair grew bigger and better than the year before. It had carnival rides, entertainment, livestock and animal shows, and lots of fair food. The county fair would draw crowds in the tens of thousands from far and wide to the sleeping farming community of Hatfield. Unfortunately, World War II brought an end to the county fair in Hatfield, but Hatfield's oldest claim to fame, going back over 100 years, was when it was known as Turkeytown. And that's the subject of tonight's program. Hatfield, PA, Turkeytown, USA. With Thanksgiving just a few days away and the Christmas holiday season very rapidly approaching, it is quite fitting that we remember that time so long ago when Hatfield held the distinction of being known as Turkeytown. Although traditional stories of the first Thanksgiving often include wild turkey as the centerpiece to the meal, that appears to have been not quite factual. The first Thanksgiving was celebrated by the Pilgrims in October 1621, after their first harvest in the New World. This feast lasted for 3 days and was attended by 90 Native Americans and 53 pilgrims. Although it seems goose was the bird of choice for many to celebrate the holidays in those early years, turkey became more popular over time and really gained traction as the Thanksgiving meal of choice for Americans after President Lincoln declared Thanksgiving a national holiday in 1863. And since then, turkey has been the main menu item when families gather together to celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas. Back in the 1890s, for reasons that can't be pinpointed, Hatfield became the place for turkey auctions to be held. Perhaps it was the cooperative spirit of Hatfield's hotel proprietors on whose land the sales were held, or perhaps it was just conveniently located near those who had large turkey farms in the area. Whatever the reason, Hatfield Borough became the hub of the turkey industry in the northeastern United States. When turkey sales were first held in Hatfield, the birds that were sold were mostly raised on nearby farms, with the farmers' wives raising them to earn some extra money so that they could buy something new that was needed in the home. One family in the area, living nearby along Allentown Road, usually raised about 100 turkeys, which kept the wife very busy feeding them. The turkeys were usually kept on a part of the farm that had large trees so that they could roost at night without being threatened by foxes and dogs. Early accounts of Hatfield turkey auctions show that the birds sold for 6 cents a pound live weight. On January 3rd, 1898, the Troxel brothers sold 4,000 turkeys, geese, and ducks at an auction held in the field behind Knight's Hotel, seen here, which was then at the corner of Broad and Market Streets. Around 1900, an unknown disease struck, killing many of the young turkeys being raised on the local farms, and the frustrated farmers decided to stop trying to raise turkeys. This forced the turkey dealers to go out of state to obtain their turkeys. Jonathan Hilgis, a livestock dealer, began making trips to Ohio to purchase turkeys to sell at Hatfield. Other men like James Romig, Peter Snyder, Thomas B. Henson, and Joseph B. Anders, who were mostly cattle and hog dealers, soon joined in the profitable business of selling turkeys, having them shipped north to Hatfield from Maryland and Virginia. What made the turkey auctions so profitable was the fact that market prices were rising while the transportation costs of shipping the birds north remained relatively stable. Hatfield's Joseph B. Anders became such a major dealer of turkeys that in 1908, the Hatfield Times newspaper dubbed him Turkey King of Pennsylvania. This photo shows Joseph Anders posing with his family in front of their South Hatfield store at Main and Vine Streets. Another man who entered the turkey sale business was Milton B. Benner. Benner was raised on a farm in Lower Salford and spent most of his adult life as a livestock dealer. In 1909, he reportedly brought 8,000 turkeys to the auctions in Hatfield and sold them all at prices ranging from 10 to 16 cents per pound. This photo from around 1910 shows turkeys, geese, and ducks on the George S. Snyder Mill property on Market Street, probably just unloaded from a rail car. By around 1910, it had become the practice of the turkey auctioneers to hold their sales about 8 days before Thanksgiving and Christmas. Some of these Hatfield sales were held at the Knipes Hall property, but most, it seems, were held at the South Hatfield Hotel, now the main hotel, seen here. The turkeys would be shipped to Hatfield in railroad cars with 800 to 1,400 turkeys per car, depending on the size of the car. The shippers would build floors in the cars about 18 inches above each other, providing just enough space to give standing room for the turkeys. When the rail cars would be unloaded, some of the turkeys that could fly would be found on the roofs of homes up to 1,000 feet away. Others would be so tame they would follow the workmen spreading corn back to the yard where the auction would be held. The turkeys would be put in pens, each holding 100 birds, and the winning bidder would pick 25 of the highest quality birds in that pen. This first bidding, of course, drew the highest bids, as they were for the best birds. There would be 3 more rounds of bidding, 25 turkeys each time, for the remaining birds in the pen, with the price going down with the quality of the birds. This promotional postcard from 1910 advertises Turkey King Joseph Anders' December 19 Harvest Home Sale of 2 carloads of fine fat turkeys, geese, ducks, and chickens at Chester Knipes Hotel. We can see that he had for sale that day 2,500 turkeys, 1,000 chickens, ducks, and geese, and 5,000 feet of lumber. The postcard goes on to say, "Gentlemen, remember, this is our last sale for the season, and the poultry we are shipping is ready for the Christmas market. No waiting for them to get fat, for they are fat and in prime condition." And here's a newspaper article from around the same time, recognizing Joseph Anders for his many years of poultry sales, making Hatfield the leading market for turkeys. By 1914, the Hatfield turkey auctions had become a main link in the turkey supply chain for Philadelphians who enjoyed the tasty bird. On November 17, 1914, the edition of the Philadelphia Evening Ledger, it brought gloomy news, however, to those looking forward to enjoying turkey on their Thanksgiving table that year. The headline read, "Hatfield turkey sale called off. Birds to be scarce. Abandoned because of the quarantine imposed on cattle. Poultrymen fear financial loss. There is to be no turkey sale at Hatfield this year." The article went on to report that hoof and mouth disease was discovered in cattle a week earlier, and that poultry farmers, fearing that their birds could possibly contract the disease by being shipped in the same rail cars and through the same stockyards, decided to hold on to their birds until after Christmas, when they hoped that the problem would be under control. So thousands of Philadelphians who normally received their turkeys through the Hatfield auctions had to face the possibility that their Thanksgiving and Christmas dinners would be birdless that year. Although there were some local turkeys available for sale, there just weren't enough to make a regular auction profitable. Adding to the turkey problem that year was the fact that the area experienced a very mild fall season. Local poultry farmers reported that the mild weather kept the turkeys quite active, and because of this, they were remarkably thin, not a favorable trait for a turkey. The article went on to report that poultrymen were optimistic that there would soon be a cold snap, which would slow the birds down and that they would soon fatten up in time for Thanksgiving. The following year, this photo appeared in the October 5, 1915 edition of the Philadelphia Evening Ledger. It carried the caption, "Doing their turkey shopping early. Buyers for the turkey trade are already abroad in the land. A favorite gathering place for them is this big turkey ranch at Hatfield, Pennsylvania, where poultry auctions are held weekly. A regiment of holiday fowl is drawn up for review." A year later, the November 20, 1916 edition of the Philadelphia Evening Ledger had this headline, "Turkeys to go to top bidders at Hatfield and Souderton. Prices live weight expected to range from 28 to 32 cents. The article reported that 2,500 live turkeys, ranging from a monster gobbler weighing 29 pounds to 7-pound hens, would be sold at Hatfield's turkey sale. The turkey auction that year was conducted by William Berge of Allentown, since Turkey King Joe Anders had passed away in March of the previous year." The Tyrone Daily Herald from Tyrone, Pennsylvania, had this headline on that same day, November 20, 1916. "Turkeys roost higher. Hatfield looks for retail prices at 36 to 48 cents. The article read, "Although the North Penn has always been known as the turkey country and Hatfield as the Turkeytown of the North Penn, this year will establish a new record for the number of Thanksgiving birds to be sold in the district." The death of Joseph Anders left a large void in the Hatfield turkey auction business, but another man, Milton B. Benner, would soon capably fill Anders' shoes and go on to become probably the most famous turkey dealer ever on the East Coast. So famous, in fact, that he was also given Anders' title, the Turkey King. A few days later, on November 24, 1916, the Philadelphia Evening Ledger reported, "Turkey shortage in city. Birds will be both scarce and expensive, ranging in price from 34 to 45 cents a pound." The article went on to say that although 5,000 turkeys were normally sold at Hatfield's pre-Thanksgiving auction, only 1,000 birds would be sold that year. The following year, 1917, with the country embroiled in World War I, and reports that hundreds of thousands of pounds of turkeys were killed to feed our soldiers, there was concern that many in the area might be facing another turkeyless Thanksgiving. Headlines in the November 20, 1917 issue of the Philadelphia Evening Ledger indicated that those concerns were unfounded. "Virginia birds save Hatfield turkey sale. 40 cents per pound predicted as more of certainty than possibility." It reported that a carload of big fat turkeys from Virginia would be sent to Hatfield for the annual sale. Milton Benner was able to arrange for 1,300 turkeys, more than 600 chickens, 200 ducks, and some guinea hens to be shipped to Hatfield for the November 22nd auction. On the evening of the auction, November 22nd, 1917, the Philadelphia Evening Ledger reported, "Market 17,000 pounds of turkey at Hatfield. First choice fowls bring from 30 to 34 cents at big annual sale." The article went on to report that the Virginia turkeys, chickens, ducks, and guinea hens were auctioned off to 130 buyers in the yard of the South Hatfield Hotel. And here's the ducks in the foreground with the turkeys in the background. And that, of course, is the South Hatfield Hotel, now the main hotel, in the background. The article continued, the annual turkey sale, which was conducted by M.K. Benner, was well attended despite poor weather conditions. First choice turkey brought from 30 to 34 cents per pound. As usual, the birds were auctioned off in lots of 25. Chickens brought 62 cents each, ducks 75 cents to $1, and guinea hens 55 cents. And this is another photo showing the turkeys in the field behind the South Hatfield Hotel. This photo from the Hatfield auction appeared in the same issue of the Evening Ledger and was captioned, King Turkey holds the stage at annual Hatfield sale. 2 years later, this photo appeared in the November 20, 1919 issue of the Philadelphia Evening Ledger. This Thanksgiving turkey auction was again held behind the South Hatfield Hotel. That's auctioneer Milton Benner just to the right of the young lad holding the turkey. The live turkeys were selling for 35 to 40 cents a pound that year. This photo was taken a month later, right before the Christmas turkey auction. These turkeys are in the large field off of East Broad Street, and that's the textile factories in the background. And here's a turkey enjoying one of his last meals before the auction. Here's some photos from the November 29, 1920 edition of the Philadelphia Evening Ledger. Taken at the recently held Hatfield turkey auction. Apparently the Cole family preferred duck over turkey for their Thanksgiving dinner. On the left is Miss Virginia Cole holding the duck that her father just bought at the auction. And on the right, Henry H. Gottschall holds the beautiful bird that will soon be his Thanksgiving dinner. The December 20th, 1921 Philadelphia Evening Ledger reported, turkeys at record price. Wholesale cost at Hatfield 61 3/4 cents. Means 75 cents to 80 cents retail. The article reported, wholesale prices paid at King Benner's Christmas sale of turkeys at Hatfield yesterday equaled the high price record. 1,100 turkeys for 61 3/4 cents a pound for first choice lots. Last year, that same price was recorded, and it is the highest on record. Mr. Benner says he believes that at his final sale tomorrow, turkeys will reach a new high mark. He says turkeys are scarce, buyers were plentiful at the sale yesterday. Well, Mr. Benner's prediction of a new high mark apparently was accurate, as the December 23rd, 1921 edition of the Hatfield Times stated, never in the history of the Hatfield sales, long an institution, have such high prices been realized. In the early 1920s, the Hatfield turkey auctions attracted such crowds that the Associated Press sent representatives to Hatfield. Those AP reports of the turkey sales were supplied to newspapers all over the country, and the prices at the Hatfield sales set the price for turkeys in the retail market. Here's a few newspaper photos from around 1923. The caption for this picture was, "Behold George Wimmer, age 7, with a turkey he hopes to make a pet, but its chances are poor." In this faded newspaper photo, the auctioneer is seen holding a pure white turkey that he is about to ask bids for. The caption for this photo reads, "Gobblers on auction block at Hatfield to make an American holiday." In 1925, Milton Benner appeared in an Associated Press News of the Week short film. The newsreel clip was about the Thanksgiving turkey, and it appeared in movie houses throughout the country. The Tyrone Daily Herald had this headline on December 15, 1927. "Christmas turkey expensive delicacy. Dealers report highest prices since winter of 1922. The article went on to say, "If you have been planning to have a turkey for Christmas dinner this year, get ready to pay a large price for the delicacy. At the first pre-Christmas sale of the fowls here in Hatfield recently, the highest price since 1922 were paid by dealers. 50 cents per pound was what it required to obtain the title to one of the birds which, when roasted and fixed with the usual trimmings, grace so many Christmas tables." The article went on to advise that for those who couldn't quite afford the expensive turkeys, chickens were still quite a good value, with many chickens weighing from 3 to 5 pounds being sold for less than $1. If you're a Hatfield long-timer, you will remember Warren Wimmer. Warren was born in 1920 and grew up living in the Twin on East Broad Street, almost right across the street from the trolley station. Warren enjoyed writing down his memories of growing up in Hatfield, and once wrote what he remembered of the turkey auctions when he was a young boy. He wrote, "It seems every year around Thanksgiving we would get trainloads of turkeys into town. Some would go to the main hotel in South Hatfield, and some would go to Knight's Hall. When the trains would come in, they would pull into a siding where they would unload the turkeys. They would just open the car door and the turkeys would fly out all over the place. Then they had a bunch of guys and kids there to round them up and drive them across the street into holding pens or fenced-in fields by the hotel. But the turkeys, when released from the rail car, flew all over the area and town. These guys were rounding up turkeys for days. In the morning, they would find them in trees because they used to fly up there and roost overnight. People used to come from all over eastern Pennsylvania and Jersey to get their Thanksgiving turkeys. When they started getting the turkeys ready for sale, they had 2 guys sitting on stools in a pile of feathers up to their knees. They would sit there all day just sticking and plucking turkeys. There were also a couple other guys catching the turkeys and hanging them up for the 2 guys to stick. They did hundreds of them a day. I never did see the process at the main hotel, but I'm sure it was the same. They both sold a lot of turkeys, so Hatfield was Turkeytown and written up in the papers. So that was Warren Wimmer's memories of the Hatfield turkey auctions. Late 1928 saw the beginnings of the Great Depression, and sadly, it also saw Hatfield lose its distinction as the center of the turkey trade. The bidding price per pound for turkeys just wasn't enough to cover the expense of hauling the turkeys from Virginia and other states by rail car. Also, by this time, trucks had become quite dependable for hauling turkeys, and the birds didn't lose as much meat during truck transportation and arrived in better condition. So turkey retailers were now able to buy directly from the turkey farms in the South and trucking them north, cutting out the auctioneer middleman. And so Hatfield's days in the limelight as Turkeytown of the East came sadly to an end. And sadly, that is also the end of this evening's program. I hope that you enjoyed it. Remember to plan a visit to our museum, and I hope that you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Good night.